Hello everyone, and welcome to the Multiverse of Madness. I'm Trent.
I'm Beau.
And today, I just pulled up Letterboxd and I saw your recent review, so I think I already know.
Oh no.
Yeah. For full context, today, in honor of Spider-Man No Way Home coming out, we've decided that we're going to be ranking all of the Spider-Man movies, anything connected to Spider-Man, theatrically released.
Which just basically means we're doing Venom as well.
Venom!
Venom!
Sorry, we can't resist for children. We're going to be ranking all the Spider-Man movies today. And Beau was trying to keep one of them a surprise for me, but we're going off our Letterboxd tier ranking list. And unfortunately, when you pull up Letterboxd, it shows you things that your friends have recently reviewed or talked about. Speaking of Letterboxd, they're not sponsoring us, but I do want to say it's a great app. I recently signed up for it at the behest of Beau. And I've made several ranking lists. Some are maybe with some controversial choices in there, but hey, it's my Letterboxd account. I can do whatever. But today we're ranking all the Spider-Man movies. We were going to do individual episodes of movies, but unfortunately we did one on Spider-Man 2002, and guess who forgot to make sure the audio was going to come out clean and make sure everyone could hear Beau.
Not me. I did it. I didn't do anything wrong this time, Mom. I'm not a complete failure.
Yay! No, I was the failure, though. This is why Mom does not love me, so.
Yeah, that's true.
That's also why your mom does not love me.
Anyway, Spider-Man's cool. He's my favorite superhero.
He's my favorite superhero too. Just something about the character.
Yeah, he us white boys, we love Spider-Man, and Venom's there too.
Yep. Well, because spoilers for Venom too, but I mean, I think people have seen it before, already. Or
if you haven't seen Venom 2 by now, I mean, you're living a good life, but it's still fun, and there's some Spider-Man connectivity, and also Venom is just such inherently a Spider-Man character,
and he looks like Spider-Man too.
Yeah. Well, he looks like Spider-Man also.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2 is a separate movie.
We can't say Spider-Man followed by something that sounds like a number, because so many things have been called Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2 over the past couple of years. So here's what we've taken into our rankings. We're going to be ranking the Sam Raimi trilogy, the Mark Webb-directed Amazing Spider-Man films, the MCU Spider-Man films that have come out so far. So No Way Home might affect this ranking in any shape or form when it does come out. And then, of course, we got the Sony Pictures Venom and Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, which is sublime. But, I mean, you'll have to see how we feel about it as this video goes on.
Good.
Shout out to Fluid Coffee Bar for hosting this podcast, by the way, as well. We're both drinking on beverages right now. They're immaculate. So
yeah, I'm in love with this.
Yeah. So we're gonna try to. We're not going to try to hopefully fluff out our content a little too much today, because we're doing a double feature today, kinda, in a certain sort of perspective, as Obi-Wan would say, from a certain point of view, Luke Skywalker.
Okay. Right. So you want to go first for our number 10, our worst Spider-Man film?
For me, I guess we'll start off. So the worst Spider-Man film I have on my list is Spider-Man 3, released in 2007. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. This was kind of hard. This was a little bit of a hard list for me to make, because even the worst Spider-Man movies, I still, as a huge fan, find something to unabashedly love, because there's something about the character that even if the movie's bad, you can still appreciate what they do with it, you know? It's like another movie we'll get into, which is universally polarizing for a lot of people, which starred Andrew Garfield, so maybe that could help. I guess both of his movies were kind of polarizing, but
yeah.
No, it's this. There's a lot of things I like about this movie. It's inherently campy, like a lot of the other Sam Raimi movies. It's got for everything I like, there's something that also kind of takes away from it that I'm not a huge fan of. I like the black suit stuff, but I don't like the fact that it's kind of shrunk it in. It's like a very minor thing in the movie, and that kind of culminates in Venom getting like about 5 minutes of screen time when we finally see him, and basically how underdeveloped Eddie Brock is kind of throughout the movie. He's like the least important character, and yet he's the big bad of the film. It should have been like Sandman and Harry Osborn, which, by the way, even though I like pretty much all the performances are great in this movie, but because like either it's characters we've seen before or it's new cast members that are like, except for Topher Grace, I feel like he is the weakest part of the movie.
As much as I have come to love this movie, Topher Grace is garbage.
Yeah,
but also like a lot of people in this movie are kind of garbage, and that's what's a lot of the charm of it for me, at least. I think because I don't know, we'll get into where I put Spider-Man 3 later, but I enjoy the campiness and how kind of bad it is. And I think for me, when going into this ranking, it's my favorite. It's not the best. Ranking the best, I think obviously you put some other movies a little higher and some of my favorites lower. But I think when it comes to me, we're going to get into just my favorites, when I get the most enjoyment from. Am I good to say mine? Or do you have anything else you want to say about Spider-Man 3? Yeah, say some more stuff about Spider-Man 3.
Well, it's just, I remember, because this came out when I was like 7 years old. I was just hyped to see Venom, and at the time I loved it. But like looking back now, even though I still enjoy the movie, there's just like, they just take a lot of different turns that like kind of weigh it down for me. For one, this is going to be a whole tangent in its own way, eventually cover Spider-Man 3 in its own podcast maybe eventually. But Harry Osborn's costume as the new Goblin, that whole character is garbage. They could have done so many different things. They could have just put him in the Goblin suit again, or make him Hobgoblin, because there's like a yellow Goblin mask in one of the scenes, and like you think he's gonna be Hobgoblin. Instead, he's this He's edgy emo Goblin with the surfboard and the green paintball mask, which he doesn't even wear. He wears the green paintball mask for like 10 seconds before he takes it off for the rest of the movie.
This is James Franco. We gotta show James Franco.
No, but like
James Franco, man.
It's like, and then. Because there's like 3 villains that they have to balance, they have to like keep writing down moments for them to not do anything. Like Harry gets amnesia and like his storyline's kind of muddled, and then when he sacrifices himself near the end, you don't really feel anything because like, oh, yeah, I felt like his redemption would have been better if he had done more throughout the movie instead of getting amnesia before the second act and having to relive the whole "my dad's dead, F you Spider-Man" kind of thing. Sandman, I think he's actually my favorite villain in the movie. Because he's the most 3-dimensional. And he's more like, but even still, it's like you could cut him out and the movie would still kind of be the same. I feel like he's only there to kind of further the whole black suit kind of corrupts people thing. Corrupts you to the point where you want to get fringe and walk down the street to a James Brown song. Which I love. I love the street scene, but then they immediately, go do too much with it in the dinner scene where he's in the diner and
the jazz bar.
That's a little too much.
That's so uncomfortable.
I know.
I love it though. I love it.
I was cringing. Like even as a kid, I knew this was bad. But I guess this is Peter Parker doing what he thinks is cool. But like I think if he had done the stuff walking down the street, that's funny. I love that stuff. Yeah. But the jazz scene, too much for me. So. Looking back, there's just so many problems that I decided to put Spider-Man 3 in the bottom of my list.
Okay, so we're going to get into my love of Spider-Man 3 later. But for now, also a little caveat for me, every kind of category of these movies can be set by 2. So this is like my D to F tier for these first 2 movies. But I'm just going to start off with Venom. The first Venom movie is bad. There's nothing. I don't really like it. It's not like it's bad in a good way. I am a big believer that those Venom movies need to be rated R. And even this, it's just too dark and edgy, and I don't know. I just don't have fun with it. Like a lot of these, like Venom 2 is fun, and it explores their relationship very well. But we're not getting into that yet. Venom 1 is just bad, in my opinion. Like I have nothing to say about it, and that's kind of like one of the worst things that a movie could do if I have just like nothing to say about it. I saw it once, and I kind of instantly forgot about it, and I had no reason. Like normally, I'm all about rewatching movies for a podcast. I had no want to rewatch this movie.
Mm.
So I didn't. I love you, Tom Hardy, but you know, and you've gotten better as Venom. But
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does in MCU.
Spoilers.
I don't care.
That's yeah.
We'll
do it live.
Yeah. But I don't know. Venom isn't good.
All right.
What's your number 9?
It's Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venom.
It's Venom.
So, look, when I was watching it, I had fun, but like, it is a bad movie. First off, I know this is still an issue for me, but Tom Hardy doesn't look great in this movie, especially with the weird voice where he's kind of speaking in like a really low, shaky,
That's
queasy.
what I liked about the movie.
His voice.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, Tom Hardy, I'm trying to.
It's really good.
Yo, taxi.
Yeah, he's trying to do something. It's hard to describe what he's trying to do.
No.
But it's very mumbling New Yorker.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to describe it. And it takes place in San Francisco, which is even funnier.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting this takes place in San Francisco
because San Francisco.
It's such a generic city environment. But I mean, Venom 2 I think does a better job of making.
Yeah, the reason why I know it takes place in San Francisco is because of Venom 2.
Yeah, because like you can't be asked with Venom 1, and it's like all of it's so melodramatic and serious. It's like all the interesting parts is like, oh, look at all these symbiotes we got from space. Oh, all of them are dead except the generically evil one, Riot. And here's the generic evil guy, Carlton Strand. And here's their generic evil death, because you know all bad guys die in superhero movies most of the time.
Yeah, it's really generic. I think that's a good word to say.
The She-Venom stuff was kind of thrown in without much rhyme or reason. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Venom with voluptuous melons, but
she curvy. She
yeah.
dummy thick.
And I think that's another issue is that Tom Hardy and Michelle something, what's her name?
Michelle Williams.
Michelle Williams. They don't have a lot of chemistry. And
that's true.
I don't think they're...
I don't care about the relationship.
No. I hope they don't get back together by the time Venom 3 rolls around. I hope that she does marry the Doctor.
Yeah.
Because he seems like a better guy.
He's a good guy. Venom...
But we're not a good guy. We're a lethal protector.
I hate you.
Sorry.
I hate you.
Apparently Tom Hardy, whenever he did the Venom voice, he was trying to sound like he was burping. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
But at least he puts effort into his voice. You could tell the Riot voice is just modified. Like, not even... I don't know. I don't even know the guy who played Riot, because, Carlton Strand's, a very generically
It's, the guy from Rogue One.
Yeah, but...
We're going to look it up.
He was just kind of a dull villain for me.
He's a dull... Riz Ahmed. I love Riz Ahmed, but this wasn't it, man.
No. And then, it teased a Vetter movie that would come out, but with a worse haircut. Woody Harrelson, what were you doing in that Ronald McDonald wig?
Yeah.
It was just... Whew.
Yeah, that end credit scene doesn't work.
Yeah. And I did not rewatch Venom for this movie at all either. Rewatch it for this podcast, I should say. Because there's just I don't know, everything that was great in Venom Let There Be Carnage was not good in the original Venom. And I thank Andy Serkis for that, because he knew how to take the series in a new direction, which was the right direction, which was being funny.
Yeah. So my number 9 is the first Andrew Garfield film, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is another one that's just not good, I think. What's the villain lizard? Yeah. Boring. I don't care.
Yeah. I feel like he's not... They kind of try to make it too humanoid, and he looked like...
I love Andrew Garfield. He didn't step up until the second one, in my opinion. I like Emma Stone. I like Emma Stone.
Who doesn't love Emma Stone? She's great.
I think it's way too long. It's almost 2.5 hours.
I never seem to notice that whenever I was watching it.
It's just... It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, sorry. It's just there's so much going on, and I just feel like I'm just not interested in it. I don't know. Sally Field did good as Aunt May.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the best Aunt May, but it's a good Aunt May.
And then, Martin Sheen kind of, screwed the pooch with Uncle Ben. I don't think he
is an Uncle Ben.
He's passable. He's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like, with the Tobey Maguire film still kind of fresh in everyone's mind, they kind of had to dance around the fact that, like, a lot of the stuff was kind of being repeated. So
yeah.
He's not like, a great power, a great responsibility. He's like, well, you got a choice, and you got the power to make that choice, and you got to remember that choice comes with a responsibility, and whatnot.
And whatnot.
Yeah. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went in the movie, because they try to avoid the big famous line.
Yeah, just like let people have it. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't I'm not the biggest fan of the suit either. I'm not a suit purist or anything. I just don't like it. It's too shiny. And like I don't know. I just think it's a little shiny.
I have my own thoughts on Amazing Spider-Man as well, but I'm going to get to that later down the list.
Okay.
So
that's all I've got it for me. For the movies I'm not passionate about. I'm not passionate about.
You don't even like talking about like passionately how
Because they're bad, but they're not like they're just like boring.
It's true.
Like, I have nothing interesting to say about them. Why should I talk about them?
You have a good point on that. I mean, I feel like the only movie I passionately hate with a strong passion is double redundant much. I think one movie I actually hate with a passion is Black Christmas 2019, but that's a story for another time. But I just wanted to I could passionately talk about how much I hate that, but for most movies that I hate, I just don't want to talk about them because they don't.
I don't hate these movies. I just it's in that category. It's you existed and I saw you.
Hey,
don't want to see you again. Good.
So all right, kid.
I guess. But what's your number 8?
I have. This might be controversial, but sorry about that. But
let's see it.
It's Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
So, this is another one of those movies where first upon seeing it in the theater with the crowd environment and the genuine reaction, I was like, yeah, I had a good time. I loved that Mysterio was very comic accurate. A lot of the action scenes were good. But this is like a lot of the problems I had with Homecoming. And it kind of like amplified in Far From Home. And hopefully No Way Home will kind of change that and actually have a lot of consequences for Spider-Man's actions, because I feel like he kind of gets off scot-free a lot in these movies, and like we'll get into Homecoming later, but like there's a scene in that movie where he causes someone's business to erupt in flames, and it's just not really addressed at all. Like, oh, he got out all right, he survived, but we're not going to go into the he just rebuilds it. He's in a scene in the deleted scenes for Far From Home. That's all.
Yeah,
it's all good, and there's such a huge elephant in the room for Far From Home. Like, hey, how did the whole Aunt May thing go? Like the cliffhanger from Homecoming?
Oh, yeah.
It's not really a cliffhanger. It's more of just a slight step down because she's cool with it. Which is, Marissa Tomei is a good actress, but she's my least favorite Aunt May for that reason. I feel like she doesn't really care about Peter's well-being most of the time, and she kind of uses her nephew to help benefit herself.
I agree. Question mark?
Question mark?
I don't know. I kind of put it on the same field as put it on the same level as Sally Field. I think she's interesting. But I would not put her as my favorite.
Yeah.
Because
she's a new interpretation of the character.
Yeah, she's an interesting interpretation.
Yeah. She's like the younger MA from the Ultimate Marvel comics. And I don't know if the Happy Hogan love thing was... It's whatever. I don't really care if those two characters get together at all. They don't, by the way. Sorry to spoil, but like you care. I don't know, because like looking back, it's another one of those situations where I'm not really passionate about it, because even though there are things I like, Spider-Man's costume, for example, I love the red and black. I'm glad they kept the look for No Way Home that's coming out soon.
Yeah. And
they're going to kind of integrate it with the Iron Spider in a certain way. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people were kind of divided on the whole integrated suit, but I like the design.
Yeah, I think I don't think Tom has had a bad suit.
No, I don't.
I like every suit he's had. Like and I'm glad that they're not using the Iron Spider suit every time because it is just the best suit, like objectively, when like fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like they're only using it for like the big team up movies or when he really needs it.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, and like another big problem is that once again, this is a Spider-Man villain that isn't really connected to Spider-Man. It's connected more so to Tony Stark, which is another kind of issue because they keep trying to paint the picture. Spider-Man's not Iron Man Jr., guys. He's his own hero, but he's going to build his own costume to Back in Black by AC/DC, just like Iron Man. And he's going to face another disgruntled person who was scorned by Tony Stark. Jake Gyllenhaal, I love him in this movie. In fact, he's a great actor. Who doesn't love some Jake Gyllenhaal, as he pronounces it?
Taylor Swift stands. Are you seriously gonna like Jake Gyllenhaal right now? We're gonna get dislike bombed by the Taylor Swift stands.
I know nothing about it, so
yeah, neither do I. They dated for like a couple months,
Oh.
and now she made a 10-minute music video about him.
Oh, that's what that whole drama was. I knew about Taylor Swift drama. I had no idea he was involved, but
yeah, All Too Well is about him. It makes sense though, because she was like 19 and he was like 30 or something.
Oh, that's no.
Yeah, it makes sense that like there's legitimate problems, but also they dated for like a month. Like
Yeah, it's like whatever. He's like both the best part and kind of also the weakest part, and I don't know how to explain that. I love how the suit looks. I love his angle because I've always been a huge fan of Mysterio, kind of this dorky special effects artist who somehow gets his hands on some supervillain tech and kind of becomes a villain trying to get back at Spider-Man for ruining his career. But it's Tony Stark who ruined his career, who called his AI tech barf back in Age of Ultron, so that was something. Civil War. There's so many movies, man. You keep getting them wrong. It's like, oh, the one with Captain America? What's the difference? I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that joke was either.
I apologize for that, people. I just got off of an opening shift, so I'm kind of rambling a little bit. But he's like, but at the same time, he also exposition dumps. Case in point, the exposition bar where he's in with Peter Parker, and like Peter Parker decides to give. Why do I keep calling everyone by their first and last name? Peter decides to give Mysterio the Edith glasses, which, fun fact, he almost uses to blow up an entire school bus. Like, I could go on about scenes I don't like Peter almost blowing up his school bus, the weird Asian kid who's trying to get with MJ, or I guess this interpretation of MJ, all quotes. Zendaya is good, but she's not MJ.
Hashtag not
Then there's also
MJ.
there's also the exposition dump bar where Mysterio somehow managed to convince Peter to give him the glasses. I did not see the scroll twist with Nick Fury and Maria Hill coming, though. I feel like that took me a little bit by surprise. So
it doesn't fit in the movie, but it fits in the MCU.
Yeah, and it's going to set up the secret invasion thing that's coming. And I also don't think Mysterio is dead. So I think he's going to be the sixth member of the Sinister Six in the new No Way Home movie coming out. I don't think it's going to be Venom because you're kind of cramming a lot in there when you ask Venom to be kind of bunked with other villains.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about Far From Home. What's your number 8?
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Garbage.
Carnage. So, like I said, I grouped them up by 2. This group is kind of like the fun movies. These are movies I have a lot of fun with.
Yay!
So Venom, Let There Be Carnage was really a surprise for me. I went in thinking it was going to be garbage, and it kind of was, but it was super fun garbage. Like, I don't know, it's rom-com, dude. Like,
basically,
let Eddie and Venom do it on screen. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I ship them hard. It's a fun relationship movie. It's literally a rom-com. Like, they have the breakup in the second act. Mm-hmm. You know, there's lots of problems. It's, they complete each other.
Bit of an abusive fight scene.
There is an abusive fight scene. But it's silly. And then you get Woody Harrelson in there, which doesn't... I don't know, man. Woody Harrelson is also like when I want another villain where it's like he's the best and worst part of the movie. Mm-hmm. Where I think Woody Harrelson as Woody Harrelson's, whatever his character's name is is great.
As Cleus Cassidy?
Yeah.
Carnage?
I don't think Carnage is very interesting. Like, he's just like got bit Tom Hardy and got some blood on him and oh no, I'm Carnage now.
Yeah, the blood infused with the symbiote. And it's like the red and black. Oh, it's Carnage.
I don't know. It's just that didn't work for me very much. I don't know. It's fun. It's funny. I enjoy Michelle Williams and the doctor character, her boyfriend. I thought they were both really fun.
I feel like he shined a little bit more in this movie.
Oh yeah, he shined a lot.
I feel like if this was stylistically close to the first Venom movie, it would not be. I think it would probably even be worse.
Also, I don't know if it's his debut, but Andy Serkis directed it fairly competently.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to check if... Nope, it's not his debut, but it's his second movie. No, third movie. But, can we just... We need to have an episode on Andy Serkis, because I love Andy Serkis.
Yeah, he's quite the guy, you know?
Planet of the Apes, baby. We're doing the Planet of the Apes episode.
Alright, fine. We'll have to do that in the future. There's a running joke between Beau and I about Planet of the Apes.
It's amazing.
Apparently they're the best Christian movies ever made.
They are.
Okay.
But I don't know. Do I have anything else interesting to say about this?
Did you want to mention the fact that people keep forgetting Shriek's a character in this movie?
I was just gonna say I do enjoy Shriek. I know nothing about her comic character, but I think it was fun. I thought that was an interesting part of the dynamic of loud villain, but also she's in love with a character that is anti-loudness. I thought that was an interesting dynamic, and it
was interesting, but I feel like they could have done more with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Mrs. Chen was good. We loved her. No, I think I had to keep. I'm trying to keep my stuff brief. I think because we've got 7 more movies to cover.
Yeah. Well, wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, we're on.
I just did number 8.
Yeah.
We have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good thing this really is like a top 10 list. Wow. I didn't really realize that. My number 7, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I think purely because
same, dude.
Really.
Yeah, number 7.
Oh, number 7. I think maybe one of the influencers on why this is on number 7 and higher than Far From Home for me is because of that amazing theme song. Bum 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 bum. I love a good sweeping orchestra for a Spider-Man movie.
Bum bum bum.
And I know there's some like a lot of people don't like the soundtrack for Amazing Spider-Man 2, specifically the Philip Phillips song.
I thought it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah, I think there's
Electro's music.
Oh.
Sure.
Or were you talking about when he
beats him up to
Itsy Spider?
I thought it was. People always say that, but I don't think I ever caught that it was Itsy Spider. When I
didn't catch it when I was watching it.
I've seen that movie 3 or 4 times. I've never caught that it was Itsy Spider.
I caught it once back when I watched it at home. I caught it when I was watching it at home, but in the theaters, no. And my mom had to nudge me in the shoulder and be like, he just played Itsy Spider. Like, he did? I didn't really notice it.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. I think it's a good interpretation of spoilers. The night that Gwen Stacy died.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been 7 years.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? 7 years.
That's insane to me.
Yeah. So
from where my life from when that movie first came out to now, it's
You made it sound like it changed your life.
It did not. But no, I love that movie. I think it's really fun. It's bad, but it's really good.
It really is. It's fun garbage. I feel like, though, it does do a better job of juggling villains better than Spider-Man 3, in my opinion. Although I will admit, this is the worst interpretation of the Green Goblin, probably. No. It's better than Emo Goblin from Spider-Man 3, but it's still kind of just thrown in there at last minute because we need Gwen Stacy to die because we don't want her to be around for other movies. We got to bring the Green Goblin in, and here's 10 minutes of Rhino.
Not even 10 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes. Poor Paul Giamatti, man. He's very talented.
Yeah, well, because I would say we give maybe 5 minutes of him without the Rhino suit, We get maybe 30 seconds of him in the rhino suit.
Yeah, and then they get teased for a sequel that never happens. Poor Andrew.
You know what? Poor Andrew Garfield. Seriously, like,
Yeah.
I really enjoy his interpretation, especially in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think him and Emma Stone really kill it together. They have amazing chemistry.
Mm-hmm. I think it helped that they were dating around the
Yeah,
time.
I think their scenes together save this movie to pass being what it could be. It's another hour. It's another 2 hour and 20-minute long movie, which it does not need to be that long. I'm very anti movies being too long.
Yeah. Me and my homies hate that.
Me and my homies hate that. But no, that's my number 7 as well.
Yeah. Also, Jamie Foxx's Blue Electro. Take that for what you will.
Oh yeah, I like Electro.
Yeah. I think his new design is going to look better probably.
Oh yeah, No Way Home looks a lot better in No Way Home.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed the character. I think he's like the Sniveland nerd. I think that's fun.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to Riddler from Batman Forever, but I mean, it's a goofy enough character for it to work. And then he'd be kind of Spider-Man forgot my birthday, so it's time for me to light up my candles.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love him. We pick on him, but Electro, it was cool to see him. I think the fight scene in the power plant really is really good.
Oh yeah, and the Times Square fight scene is really good as well.
Mm-hmm. And it's like it kind of shows Spider-Man thinking on his feet because one web shooter goes out, people are going to touch like a metal rail, it's going to shock them, so he has to think quickly and everything.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, and it's kind of scary too, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Raimi's not the only person that can do horror in a Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there are maybe too many characters, but the bright side of that is that we get more Peter Parker's life kind of intertwining with these people. Because I feel like this is the one where it shows the consequences of being Spider-Man a lot. Not as much as like other movies, but it's a good showcase of that. But maybe we should probably get a move on.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's try.
We both went over our number 7.
Let's do 5 and 6 together. So what's your 5 and 6?
I have The Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, and I have Venom: Let There Be Carnage. So I know you don't like Amazing Spider-Man, but this is... It's like, Tobey Maguire is still kind of fresh in everyone's mind when they decided to reboot the movies and everything. But, I was open to it because, from what it looked like they were going to try to make Spider-Man gritty and realistic. And, part of me was like, I don't know if I want that, and the suit doesn't look great. It looks, perpetually wet, kind of like Jason in Part 8.
Oh, boy.
Where he's just always shimmering with moistness. And the suit kind of looks unfinished, and how he doesn't ever capture the man that killed Uncle Ben. He just kind of forgets about it. Or let's forget it, or the fact that the lizard kind of looks like a Goomba from the Mario movie, the live action one.
Yep.
Not the Chris Pratt one.
Don't talk about the Chris Pratt Mario movie. It makes me sad.
Sorry. But
although Princess Peach, Anya Taylor-Joy makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. She's great.
I love Anya Taylor. We also need to have a podcast episode talking about Anya Taylor-Joy because she's a princess in real life.
I'm not too familiar with her career.
I'm going to make you watch all of her films.
Well, I'm looking forward to that now. I have a lot of homework ahead.
Split, The Witch for sure. I think those are the 2 high priority. Last Night in Soho, which you've seen.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man. Anything else?
Venom. I kind of gave a little bit of my thoughts on Venom: Let There Be Carnage when we were talking about it with you. It's more fun than the original, a lot more memorable. Yeah, Carnage is kind of weak, and I feel like Cleese Cassidy, if they wanted to make him a little more relatable near the end, because they kind of hammed it up with the whole, you never listen to my side of the story, and you got. I don't know why I'm mimicking him like that, but
yeah, sometimes your impressions are really good. Today they've been really off.
I got up at 5:45 today to go to work.
Excuses are like buttholes. Everybody's got them.
What's your 5 and 6 then, huh?
Okay, number 6, Far From Home.
Far From Home? Okay.
I enjoyed the Tom Holland movies. So for 5 and 6, my category is Tom Holland. Mm-hmm. They're good. I don't know, man.
So Far From Home and Homecoming.
Far From Home is number 6. Homecoming's number 5. Far From Home, I enjoy Mysterio a lot. I think his character is very exposition heavy.
Yeah.
Everything along with his character is exposition heavy, but I think it works. I think the drone stuff is fun. The nightmare sequence, I think, is what it's kind of become known as.
I forgot to mention that.
It's
It was
really good.
I loved it.
It's really good, and the way it ends with him getting plowed by that train is
Missed opportunity. They should have had Uncle Ben's tombstone there, but that's just me.
yeah, true.
I nitpick a little bit.
True, they should have had Uncle Ben, but the Tony Stark's death was so in the fresh of both the audience and his brain. It makes sense that they but no, I really enjoy. One of my favorite parts of it is Ned and Betty. Oh,
Nettie?
I think that was Nettie.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Hashtag Nettie.
I think that's really fun. We haven't talked about Ned, but I think Ned is
the Hobgoblin. No, kidding.
Sure.
Kidding.
Ned is probably my favorite character in the MCU sidekick arena. I think he's like the best sidekick that the MCU has currently. I think he's really funny and he helps a lot.
Better than Aquafina.
Sure.
No, I'm kidding. Everything's better than Aquafina.
I should enjoyed Aquafina and Shang-Chi. The number 5 for me is Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming is really fun. And the reason why it's so good is Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Oh, he steals the show.
He really does.
I like how he just puts together Spider-Man's identity, especially the visual cue of the green light going off.
He's real good.
Yeah.
The Washington scene is really good because it's a nice middle of the movie action scene.
Yeah.
That doesn't need a villain.
Plus web wings.
Yeah. I like the scene with him learning the suit in the warehouse. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah. It's
Karen is
Voiced
really
by
good.
I forgot what her name is, but she voices Karen. She played Betty in the original Hulk, from 2003. I can't remember. Jennifer Connelly. She voices Karen.
Okay.
Which ironic how that name has become a little more negative these days.
Yeah.
So we're gonna group 4 and 3 together, and then I guess we can do 2 and 1 as separate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's fair. For 4 and 3, I have Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man 2. First, Homecoming. Michael Keaton is probably one of the best. He's probably the best MCU villain I've seen. I love the ending battle. I love the twist where he's revealed to be Liz's dad. I love the fact that he's kind of like a smart villain.
Yeah.
This is a movie that I think does the best of juggling multiple villains by live action movie that does the best job of juggling multiple villains because it kind of it has one central bad guy and kind of has all the other recognizable characters as his subordinates or people or setting them up for feature films like Scorpion.
Yeah.
So I feel like that does a good job of that.
Electro.
Punch, yeah, Shocker.
That's what I thought it was.
Although I will admit, I think the first Shocker with the beard, much better than Bokeem Woodbine, who I like Bokeem, but I don't think he's as energetic as the Shocker as the first guy was before he got killed so quickly, unfortunately. But who am I to complain? I'm merely a comic book fan. I complain about Spider-Man fans hate Spider-Man just as much as anybody apparently.
I disagree. I love Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man too, but Twitter people, man, they stand over Spider-Man so hardcore.
Oh, it's terrible.
I feel like Homecoming's kind of ranked high up for me because after years of disappointing movies, which I liked, but also I had my fair share of problems. Homecoming kind of broke the trend. It was finally a really good one. I think this was before Spider-Man was kind of settling into the role of Iron Man Jr. and kind of being taken on. He was more street level in this movie, and I love kind of local Spider-Man films that are kind of contained in their own little stories.
For sure.
And then we have Spider-Man 2, which is arguably... I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this. Why is it so low? It's number 3. Well, yeah, it's number 3. It's still high. I love Spider-Man 2. I feel like this is the best Sam Raimi movie of the trilogy. It's got that amazing horror scene at the hospital, which is awesome. I love that scene. Alfred Molina plays a good Doc Ock. It is objectively probably the best Spider-Man movie. It's so good that Doc Ock is coming back with the same actor. I hate that we keep talking about No Way Home, but there's just so much about that movie that kind of ties into everything,
Yeah, sure.
Because it just reaches into all these movies.
Which is great.
Yes, it is great, because for Spider-Man fans, we all love interconnecting stories. There's I feel like the one bad thing about Spider-Man 2 is the fact that it introduces Jameson's son, and I feel like a lot of people are like, that character wasn't in this movie, was he? Yeah, he was. He was MJ's fiance and Jameson's son. But what do you remember about him? Nothing, because he's in and out so quickly, and he doesn't
He's
even.
an astronaut.
Yeah, my son, the astronaut. He's not even going to be in Spider-Man 3 to introduce Venom, which would have made sense, but whatever. I'm complaining again, and I feel like
you are.
Yes, it's just you can tell Sam Raimi loves the comics because of how campy it is, and the fact that the Spider-Man suit in the trash can scene, like where he's Spider-Man no more.
Yeah,
very powerful thing. I still get a little emotional when he's in the car with Uncle Ben's ghost and like kind of talking about, I can't do this anymore, Uncle Ben. It's just becoming too much. It's. I think this is the best movie that shows you the human side of Peter Parker and just how bad his life can get.
Yeah.
Because of how bad Spider-Man makes it, and he just decides, I can't deal with the stress. I need to just take a break. Or, it's a really triumphant moment when he breaks in, steals the costume, and has the awesome train scene. There's a lot of things to love about it, and yeah. But it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie. I feel like it's changed over the years, but it is still a solid movie that I love.
Okay, so this one you're going to hate me for. Number 4, Spider-Man 1.
Oh, why?
So,
go ahead.
Okay, so number 4 and 3, we're going to talk. My category for this is The Amazing Spider-Man. These are the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, these are the A tiers. Spider-Man 1 is amazing.
Yes.
It is everything I want in a Spider-Man movie. It's the perfect origin story. It's maybe the most important of any of these movies. I would argue that it's the most important superhero movie ever.
Because without it, we wouldn't be where we are today.
I mean, we had X-Men, we had Blade, we had the 90s DC films, but none of them... Spider-Man was the first movie to do I don't remember the numbers, but the numbers at the box office were revolutionary. Yeah. This movie is just revolutionary, and you get Green Goblin in there, you get the perfect casting all around. And, everyone's a little too old, but I don't really care.
Yeah. They're older than the teacher that is supposed to be taking them on the field trip.
Yeah. I'm something of a scientist myself.
Yeah.
There's a Lost podcast episode now.
Yeah.
Of us gushing over this movie for
we have 2 Lost episodes now.
Yeah.
So it's weird to think about.
We have more Lost episodes than real episodes at this point.
It's sad.
At the time of recording.
Yeah. It's something.
Knowing our luck, this is going to be a Lost episode as well.
Don't jinx it. Knock on wood.
But no, that's I'm gonna let you take the Spider-Man because that's your movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 is Spider-Man 3, man.
All right.
I love that movie. I watched it last night and I fell in love with it. It is so campy, just like all of the Raimi films, but I think this is the most campy, I think.
Yeah.
Because he kind of lets himself be at the top of his camp. And I don't know, man, it's just great. I think everything with Sandman is amazing.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention his origin scene, which...
Yeah.
Or when he's trying to come out of the sand. And
Flynn Marco, Sandman, he tries to grab the sand and with his daughter's pendant, and he can't quite do it.
Yeah. That had to cost some money.
Because,
sand particle CGI like that, especially in the mid-2000s, that had to have been expensive.
For sure.
I'm glad they shelled out the money for it.
It's beautiful. It's simply beautiful, and it's... I love that scene. The Birth of Sandman is amazing. I think it has maybe my favorite shot of a live-action Spider-Man film with Peter in the black suit on the church steeple, where he's like.
Of course, that immediately follows the whole dun 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 dun.
No, this is right when he's about to give up the suit.
Yeah, but it's right after the jazz scene.
Well, I want to get into that. The jazz bar scene, amazing. Amazing choreography.
Big disagree.
The music's amazing, and it really shows how much of a piece of garbage that black suit's making him.
I guess you have a point. But...
It's there to show that Peter is become a piece of garbage. It's that movie does not get to he does not choose to rip off the black suit without him hitting MJ accidentally, but also kind of on purpose.
That felt kind of forced a little bit.
Yeah. That was unnecessary. I do read that particular thing was unnecessary.
Maybe it was in a different context.
Yeah. James Franco, I think, does... This is both his best and worst performance. I think his Amnesia Harry, he does amazing. I think he plays that character very well.
I had the strangest dream, Auntie M, and you were there, Peter, and you were there, MJ, and you were there, Scarecrow.
I don't get that joke.
I'm really bombing with the jokes today.
You really are. It's okay.
I'm supposed to be the comic relief.
You're supposed to be the comic relief. I'm supposed to be the knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
Something like that.
You know I'm something of a knowledgeable person myself.
I hate you.
There we go. There's a good joke.
I truly do hate you.
Rebound.
And also, I really enjoy Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen Stacy.
I forgot she was in this movie.
She's great. She does the smartness very well, but she also has she's very different than MJ.
And she's kind of ditzier in my opinion.
She's smart. She is in Peter's classes and does competes with him in how smart they are. I
thought it was because Peter was tutoring her, and she was actually kind of like a.
No, at least they don't say anything about them tutoring.
No. I always got that impression. I thought.
And then we haven't talked about two of the greatest castings of ever. Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
in all of this Spider-Man.
I'm surprised I never mentioned him. He's awesome.
Bruce Campbell plays a different character in all three movies, and I think he shines the most.
Yeah.
As the Maitre D. I think he has the funniest lines in Spider-Man 2, but the Maitre D, Mr. Pecker. Mr.
Pecker. Of course, I am French.
Of course, I am French.
I know romance. Apparently, he was supposed to be Mysterio, and this is all of his disguises were supposed to be leading up to him being Mysterio. There's storyboards that exist of him being arrested.
That's really cool.
I would have loved that, but too bad we didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a shame.
What else do I like? I like this movie. You know, I like it. It's really I think it's really good. And so
we're gonna go an entire podcast just doing that. Just now, we're saying I like this movie. I dislike this movie. I like it.
Yeah. What's your number 2?
Don't hate me for this, Beau, because I know how much you love this movie. I love it too, but not as much as how much nostalgia I have for what's number 1. He's angrily sipping on his coffee. Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. Don't get me wrong. I love this movie. I love any movie that has really good editing in it. He's Beau's about to have an aneurysm. Look, I feel like there are a lot of great movies out there that are great. There are a lot of great movies out there that are great. I don't know why I said that. It's stylistically different from any other animated movie we've seen. I think this is a pure definition of, hey, we're gonna have a Spider-Man movie that is just straight out of the comics. We're gonna give you what you want. You want to see multiple Spider-Man crossover? Done. You want to see a jaded Spider-Man who's trying to wrestle with his responsibility? Done. You want to see Miles Morales? Done. You want to see lesser characters that don't get the shine, like the Kingpin, the Prowler, Tombstone? Done. I feel like this movie is very funny. The animation style is beautiful. It's very niche and everything. What's that for?
It's my 6th favorite movie of all time.
Your
Put it at number 2.
It's second place though.
Okay, fine, whatever.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna yell at you.
He'll yell at me off screen.
Yes.
Or off microphone. No, look, I love it, but I feel like maybe on a different day it'd be number 1. But I just have so much nostalgia for what's number 1, and you probably have already deduced what it is by now. People listening at home. Look, I love Into the Spider-Verse. I love the love story between Miles and Gwen. I love Peter B. Parker's kind of unwilling role model kind of thing. Again, this movie is hilarious. When he throws the bagel and you actually see an action bubble for bagel when it hits someone. And I love the different interpretations of characters in this movie, like Olivia Octavius as opposed to the traditional Dr. Octopus. Yep. Kingpin is an absolute unit. I don't know what his...
Just one last time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's do this one last time. kind of thing. Just like, yeah, we know you know the Spider-Man origin story. Let's just give you a brief rundown because you know it, but you love it still. We know you love it. Now give us your money. But yes, this movie, I love it. I love this movie. It's great. It is one of my current favorites, and I feel like if I were to re-watch it more recently, compare it to Spider-Man 2002, which is my number one, but I'll get into that in a second. It probably would be number one because it probably holds up much better. But turning it over to Beau for your number two pick.
Number 2 is Spider-Man 2.
All right.
It's the best Raimi film.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my favorite Raimi film, like, period.
Oh, sure.
Maybe like it more than the Evil Dead stuff.
Damn.
I definitely like it more than the Evil Dead. Anyway, it just is the perfect interpretation of... It's Raimi having his perfect interpretation. I think this is the peak Peter Parker story. My number 1 is Spiderverse, but we're going to get into that because I think it's kind of unfair to compare the two.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man 2 it's just so good. Like, I mean, Alfred Molina kills it in his role. Oh boy, sorry. Alfred Molina kills it in his role as Doc Ock. It terrified me as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Like, as a child, I did not watch this movie because I was too scared of it.
You fast forward past the hospital scene?
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
Because it was too scary, and the non-scary scenes are kind of boring for a child, which is kind of a flaw.
That's fair.
And we also haven't talked about this, but J. Jonah Jameson, of course.
J.K. Simmons, man. He's so good he got cast in 2 different universes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the perfect movie in the sense of... It's a perfect Spider-Man movie because Peter never gets to be happy, really.
Yeah.
At the end, even, it's kind of a bittersweet happiness. Spider-Man 3, you kind of always... He starts off really happy and he goes downhill very quickly.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, he starts in the dumps, and he starts off... It ends with him getting out of the dumpster. But he's still in the alley.
Yeah.
Like, he's still in a garbage-filled alley.
Mm-hmm.
Where... I don't know, dude. It is so just brilliant, and some of the best action scenes ever filmed.
Yeah.
The freaking train sequence.
Which was done in 2004. I'm just saying that because it's impressive for the time.
Oh, okay. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
That's the movie's release date.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I wanted to say that because, it's impressive for its time. Because, like...
Oh, no, 100%. Especially the CG.
Especially when it's a huge step up from its predecessor in terms of...
Yeah. And I think, well, we've talked about it, but the hospital scene, the birth of Doc Ock, which we haven't talked about this, but I would say every single Raimi birth villain scene is perfection.
Yeah.
It's the best part of their movies. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
He really knows how to film a birth sequence.
Even Venom's
really good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another good thing about Doc Ock's birth scene. He kills a doctor who is cameoed by John Landis, or Mr. Is his name John?
John Landis is a person. I'm not sure if this is... I don't know.
He's Max Landis' dad.
That's John Landis.
John Landis, yeah.
American Werewolf in London.
Yeah. The Landis family are kind of... They're good storytellers, but they're kind of garbage people. So it's kind of cool to see Doc Ock kill one of them. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy, because...
Yeah.
Screw the Landises, but they do not make good stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your number 1?
It's Spider-Man 2002. I mean, look, it is not held up well. It is objectively corny. A lot of the performances are very, "It's you who's out, Gobby, out of your mind," which is just a bad line. Look, it's so genuine and cheery, and it's over the top kind of cheesiness that I can't help but love it. And it's nostalgic for me because this was probably one of the first movies I ever watched as a kid, so it's always stuck with me. I could quote it, but it's like the purest definition of a comic book coming to life, and I love it. And it's so hard for me to convey because I don't want to go off on a tangent. We had a great episode that will be lost to time, which is an hour of me gushing over how much I love Spider-Man 2002 and how much nostalgic weight I have for it. Again, I'd probably put, maybe if I were to redo this ranking, I probably would have Spider-Man and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse as tied for first because I can't choose which one is like better. But this movie holds a special place in my heart. It's just so genuine. It's goofy. I love it. I'm trying very hard to like kind of limit what I say because I don't want to have to go on like another hour of like me saying how much I love it. But I think it's pretty clear that it wouldn't be number one if I didn't enjoy it. So, all right, Beau, your number one pick. I think it's pretty much obvious.
Spiderverse. Okay,
Rudy.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, Spider-Verse. Okay, I mean, there's words do not express my love for this movie. It's my 6th favorite movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like my top 6 or 7 or 8 are just like so. Could be number 1 at any time.
Yeah.
Depending on how I'm feeling. It is, first off, simply the most beautiful animated movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't try to be not animated. It does not try to be photorealistic.
Mm-hmm.
It is animated.
Yes.
It has the amazing characters. The spider, I think it's like canonically they call themselves it's the Spider Posse.
Really?
I've heard that name before.
I was gonna say Spider Family.
That probably works better. All amazing. Haley Steinfeld as Spider-Woman. Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen.
It's Spider-Woman in the credits, but Spider-Gwen is what we people call her.
Yeah. Which terrible way of keeping your identity a secret.
Yeah. She's so good. I love that character so much.
Yeah.
Her voice is like so perfect, and I love her.
And we get to see her all the time every Wednesday on Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched the show yet.
Oh, you should.
I need to. I watched the first 5 minutes of it.
It's good.
But Mahershala Ali. It's Prowler. Maybe my favorite casting in a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think his music is amazing. His voice is amazing. The way they animated him is just perfection.
Yeah.
He is terrifying and like not. He's just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Also going into villains, we've got Doc Ock.
Played by Catherine Hahn.
Catherine Hahn, which is I love Catherine Hahn.
They have Leaf
Schreiber as
Schreiber.
Kingpin.
Here comes the Spider-Man.
We've got a really good Stan Lee cameo. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I think that probably is one of his best ones. Is like, people grow into it eventually.
They always do.
They always do.
And that also, it has my favorite scene in the movie. Ever. Favorite scene in the movie ever. And it's the leap of faith. I could probably go shot by shot and tell you every single thing about that scene. I watch it weekly. It makes me cry every time. Whenever it just makes me, it's so comfy to me now. It just makes me cry at the same time, though.
When you say leap of faith, are you talking about when he jumps out the building to what's out danger, or when his dad is talking to him?
Both.
Oh, so that's that entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The dad, his dad talking to him, and then is the best. It's my favorite piece of dialogue scene when it comes to visual storytelling. That jumping off the building, what's up danger?
Yeah.
It's the best use of music in a movie. It's so perfect. It's the perfect sequence and scene, whatever you want to call it. It's perfection. I truly believe that I probably would not be standing here without this movie.
Wow.
This movie, is one of those movies that are so important to me. I can watch it anytime I'm down and just be so happy. It means the world to me, and I don't think Sony, Chris Lord and Phil Miller, I think their names are. They produced it. But they also produced my favorite animated movie, which I know it's hard to think that I have a movie I like more than this when it comes to animation. They also produced Mitchell's versus Machines. Keep on doing what they're doing. Sony, give them an unlimited budget. Let them make movies forever because they're 2 for 2 on making top 10 favorite movies of all time for me.
I think they're just so genuine in writing good characters because they understand the inner mechanisms of even when they create their own characters, they know how to make it relatable, and when they take a pre-existing character, they know how to just take what you love about them and make that a love letter to what you love about Spider-Man.
Exactly, and this truly is a love letter to Spider-Man fans. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. There's so much to say, but I don't have much else to say. If you haven't seen this movie, watch it. Please. If you haven't watched any of these movies, I think almost all of them have their merit. Mm-hmm. Even if it's just Venom, even if it's just that.
Yeah, and I guess one person really can't make a difference. Enough said.
Enough said.
No. Does this mean this is the definitive ranking? No. I mean, we had very different opinions. Wow, nicely done. I'm glad there's no coffee in that. Else you would have just destroyed thousands of dollars worth of podcast equipment right there.
Is that thousands of dollars worth?
I mean, maybe. It looks pretty expensive. I don't know.
Well, you know what? We're just going to be quiet because I knew this was empty and I did it on purpose.
Okay. We'll cut that out. Maybe.
No, it's okay.
Again, maybe I let nostalgia get to me because I love that movie. I might watch it tonight. I might watch all these movies because I just love this character and I love the stories that it tells, and just because it's not just it's not just a story about Spider-Man. It's a story about you. Spider-Man represents the lowest people. Not low. Why did I say it like that? That sounded terrible.
You are a low, terrible person.
No,
Spider-Man is the better version of you of what you should be. That's what Trent just said.
No. What I was trying to say is that Spider-Man represents a relatability. He's not this rich billionaire who has access to everything or has his life figured out. He's a teenager. He's someone that's, socially awkward. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's kind of down in his dumps. And when he does, make it well in life, we root for him because we want to see that for us as well. I feel like that's why, we all love these movies for different reasons and why we all have different favorites. And it's nice to know that Spider-Man's brought us together for an hour. Wow, this is like an actual podcast episode now.
Yeah.
Good.
I got nothing to say.
Me neither. December 17th, the big day. We're gonna see if maybe that's gonna be the best Spider-Man film of all time. Who knows?
Hopefully, but at the same time, I'm not gonna go in with expectations of it being the best Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hope that it's a great movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's what everyone should. Don't expect Toby and Andrew, because if they're not in there, you're gonna be disappointed. If they're in there, you got a brilliant surprise.
Don't expect them, but no, seriously, Sonny, you better put them in there. Or I'm gonna Amy Pascal and Avi Rod are gonna have to.
We're gonna have a talk with you, man. I'm gonna take you outside and you'll be sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, this is gonna be a nice friendly talk. Except my buddies Bebop and Rocksteady will be there, and there will be no cameras present.
Okay.
Sorry about that. But anyways, we want to thank you for joining us today on the Multiverse of Madness. Always remember, be good people, and in case we don't see you for some time, have a great morning, a great evening, and a great night.
Peace.